Today, I'll be going over how to get started quickly on a new Darkus profile. I'll also be giving tips for anyone making a new profile in general, but most of these tips will be geared towards Darkus. Let's get started. Press the plus button to make a new profile. Select the name that you want, the attribute that you want, and the gender that you want. Don't worry about the cosmetic side because you can edit that once you're in the game as well, but these three things, make sure they're the selections that you want. Next, we'll take Darkus Saurus because Saurus gives Gs. We'll also take Darkus Juggernaut because Juggernaut is a good powerhouse in Darkus. And Darkus Percival, exceptionally good in Darkus. And for gate cards, we want Energy Merge because we want more Gs in general for Darkus. And gate cards, I'll take a Saurus character card because I want my Saurus to have more Gs. When you get straight into the game, you press Alt to hide or make your mouse appear again, and when you let it hide, your mouse will basically change the perspective at which your character is looking at. And then the main controls to move in this game are WASD, which are basically most games controls, and what you want to do is come over here and press E on this short kid named Akira and press challenge with your mouse. So I think Akira is the easiest for Darkus players in general when they begin. So I like to beat up this kid for money, basically. So we set the gate card, which is Darkus 70, and the shift will let you change perspectives as seen here. And when you press Alt, your mouse will come back. And what you want to do is take a look at your cards. And since I have two Juggernaut cards that give basically 100 Gs, I will send Juggernaut out first to the card. So press Juggernaut and then press the card that you want to throw to. So the reason I think Akira is easier for Darkus players is because Akira doesn't really move around that much in comparison to Jenny. If you use an ability card that moves your Bakugan, Jenny will usually dive Mirage away from it, so it'll basically waste time. But yes, so how you set a gate card is you click the gate card and then click the position you want to throw the gate card to. So in this case, I'm going to throw Darkus Percival into the battle here because I have Darkus Gravity, which will let Juggernaut also join the battle. So it'll become a 2v1, and in 2v1 situations, Akira stands no chance.
This isn't going to be much of a contest.
So shift again to change the perspective. This is what it looks like before, but when I press shift, the battle gets closer to me so I can see more in detail, basically. So press skip so Akira can open his gate card. And then afterwards, I'm going to Darkus Gravity Juggernaut to my Percival so we can 2v1, and it'll be an easy kill, and he'll waste all of his cards to boost for no reason, basically. So here Akira goes boosting. I'm up a lot of Gs, so we skip turn. So Akira runs away here, which is a little unfortunate because he doesn't usually, but it's okay. Because next turn we'll just attack him with two Bakugan again. So Akira sends his Bakugan to this other gate card. So we're going to set our Darkus 30 because Cheering Battle will not give us a lot of Gs at all, and it's kind of scary to use two Bakugan with reduced Gs. So I'm going to send Saurus onto my Darkus 50 here. And we'll open our gate card by clicking on it. And so in a tie, whoever stands on that gate card first will win. So Serpenoid here will win because it stood on my card first. So I will need to boost. So here comes Saurus's boost, which is a plus 50 that's stackable. And what stackable basically means is that when he comes back to my hand, when he wins, he'll still maintain that plus 50 Gs. Okay, so Serpenoid's decided to boost as well, so I'm going to use Darkus Driver, which is my Percival's special ability, which will let Percival gain 100 Gs and move over to my gate card, which is why Darkus Percival is the best Darkus Bakugan, so I would recommend trying to get him. But some other great options for Darkus, if you want to easily start the game, would be Darkus Brontes and Darkus Primo Vulcan. Those two are also really strong. Darkus Brontes has a plus 150, 2 of them. And Darkus Primo Vulcan has a minus 150, 2 of them. And a minus 80. So it's kind of why those Bakugan are extremely helpful in the beginning of the game when you need a lot of Gs, or you prefer to get boosts and G droppers. So here I'm just going to have Percival play a little bit more passively, so I'm going to throw onto Akira's card because I kind of want to be able to double team if I need to. So I'm going to skip here. Great, so I'm going to throw Saurus. And as you can see here, Saurus is stacked to 340 Gs instead of its base at 290 Gs. So I'm going to skip to let him open the gate card. Skip again, he hasn't opened the gate card yet. He's going to Desert Hole. But the good thing about Darkus is that we have cards that let us move to adjacent Darkus Bakugan. So it's very convenient and it lets us beat Akira quite easily. So here comes Percival again with Darkus Driver, the 2v1, and we win no problem. So again, shift will allow you to change your perspective. Great, we get Darkus Driver again, so again, play Percival passively, and then we'll throw Saurus in, and we'll eat up this B Striker. Oh, perfect. Gravity as well. So here we go. Let him open his gate card. He's gonna spam a bunch of abilities. Don't care until he opens his gate card. Level down, that's why you wait to move, because if I moved one of my Bakugan over, I'll subtract 100 Gs. But since the gate card is opened, I don't have to worry about it. So he's boosting, no problem. Just Darkus Driver over. I could have also Darkus Gravitied, but Driver gives me 100 Gs as well, so why not? And Akira is done with no problem. Now with the HSP you have that you gain, you can go to Alice, press E, and basically buy ability cards or gate cards or other Bakugan that you want. And with each Bakugan you defeat with a certain Bakugan that you use, you will be gaining XP. And once this bar completely reaches full and goes past, you'll basically gain plus 10 Gs for any of those 3 Bakugan that you are using. So for instance, Percival can get to 290 Gs, Juggernaut will get to 280 Gs, and Saurus will get to 300 Gs once they level up. So this is the basic kit that the game has given me. You can tell because there's like a little lock thing, and the lock thing means you can't trade it with anyone else because these are your starting cards. So overall, this deck is pretty bad because Destroy Force Down is minus 25 on each Bakugan on the field that you don't own. Spice Assault, I do recommend keeping 2 of them, so that's kind of nice that I got them. Darkus Gravity, very convenient. All in all, Darkus card because it lets you basically move a Darkus Bakugan to an adjacent Darkus Bakugan. Can be useful for double teaming, can be useful for escaping, and all in all, just a good card. Grand Down, I recommend bringing at least 2 of them because it's a gate card nullifier, and when you're attacking other people's Bakugan on their gate card, this is a card you want to use. Eye to Eye, I use one of in most of my decks as well. Minus 200 Gs on one of your Bakugan, minus 200 on another. Pretty solid card in general. And I would definitely get rid of Trigunner because there's very rare situations where minus 150s hit 3 Bakugan. So yeah, that's basically a little bit about the ability cards. Now let's take a look at Alice's shop, and I'll kind of glance and see if I can show you anything to buy. So personally, I like bringing negative deltas or positive deltas depending on the player that I play against. And I also like using trade-off a lot of the times the Darkest because of the eye to eye, allowing you to subtract 200 and then also getting a kill if they're 400 Gs. And Third Judgment doesn't work, so don't try to get that. Some other gate cards I would recommend looking out for when you start with Darkest is Triple Battle, allowing you to add an additional Bakugan of your choice onto the gate card when it's opened, so it'll become a 2v1. And then also Grand Spirit, which will give your Bakugan plus 50 Gs per gate card that's on the field. So both of those, highly recommend picking them up. Negative deltas and positive deltas, I recommend grabbing those as well. Super helpful against a specific attributed player, which is like basically 99% of most players. Darkest Hazard is a good pickup too, which will convert your opponent's Bakugan also to Darkest. Just don't use it against Darkest players because it has no effect. For ability cards, I would highly recommend grabbing Organo Revenge. Basically minus 100 Gs per Bakugan on the enemy side and plus 100 Gs per Bakugan on your side. All for one, I would recommend picking up one. Can be clutch in certain situations. Basically, you half all the Gs that your other Bakugans have and give them all to one Bakugan that you're using all for one on. And then some other ability cards that you really need as a Darkest player are Doom Companion, which basically in a losing situation you can use it to eliminate one of their Bakugan with one of your Bakugan. So let's say your Bakugan's at 270 Gs and their Bakugan's at 320 Gs and you have no G boost. Doom Companion, boom, your Bakugan's gone, their Bakugan's gone, but you were going to lose that battle anyways, so it's better for you. Another ability card that you really need for Darkest is Blackest Darkness. Basically pulls enemy adjacent Bakugan to that one Bakugan so that you can basically have a gate card that will affect them in a negative way. Dark Eye Superior is the last Darkest ability that you absolutely must have in any Darkest deck. It's basically an ability card nullifier. So now I'll be showing you guys basically kind of what a overall Darkest deck would pretty much look like with these Bakugan. I don't have Saurus, so I'm sorry if you guys don't see any Saurus Glow, but just know that there would be 3 Saurus Glow in that position. So basically something like this would be very strong for a Darkest beginner. And of course these 3 slots would be for Saurus Glow and this would be for Saurus, because you have the Gs, you have the movement with gravity and the Darkest drivers, you have the Gs with Super Shard and Depth Tornado, allowing Juggernaut to gain 500 Gs with all those cards. You have the Blackest Darkness to bring Akira's Bakugan to your gate card. You have Dark Eye Superior to nullify if he uses something like Desert Hole and he has a lot of gate cards, so Dark Eye Superior can come clutch, or if he tries to escape with Grand Slide. Organo Revenge just to minus 100 and plus 100 your Bakugan that is on the field against his. And then Spice Assault to discard cards that you don't need. Again, as a finisher, Spice Assault, just delete all of your cards and you'll get like plus 300 Gs. So super effective card against Akira. And then Grand Down. You don't have to run more than 1 Grand Down because Akira's gate cards in general are not that good. So I'd recommend just running 1. And then for attribute cards, plus 200 Darkest, plus 150 Darkest, both pretty good. And then Grand Spirit can be very strong. Triple Battle, Negative Delta because he's running Subterra, 3 of them. Darkest Hazard, and then 2 Energy Merges are all very strong against Akira. So this is kind of a lineup that would do very well for a beginner because you can constantly basically battle against Akira, get a lot of HSP, which is the currency in Bakuproject, and you can buy Bakugan that you want, ability cards that you want, attribute cards that you want, and so on. So this is kind of a lineup that would do very well into Akira and just allow you to progress very quickly in the game. And another key thing is if you wanted to level up your Bakugan, I would recommend actually buying one of your Bakugan from the shop, because the shop Bakugan actually start at 320 Gs, while the base Bakugan start at very low Gs. As you can see, my starter Percival started at 260 Gs, and I could have bought one from the shop at 320 Gs and then started leveling up from 320 Gs. So just keep that in mind. Another big thing is that if you accidentally buy something like a glitched card like Photon Tail actually destroys your account, like eats up your cards, eats your Bakugan. So if you have a starter Bakugan and you've been constantly leveling that Bakugan up and you accidentally buy a Photon Tail, I'm sorry, but he's gone. So I would recommend buying a shop Bakugan so that you can actually transfer between accounts, like this Percival over here. I've leveled him up, but you can actually move him between accounts so that just in case you accidentally mess up an account somehow, you can still retrieve him. So if you didn't roll Juggernoid and didn't roll Saurus, you could also roll for Bakugan like Robotallion, which does the exact same thing as Saurus, or you can roll for something like Fear Ripper, which gives plus 80 Gs that's stackable, but his other two /0s that give plus 80 Gs aren't stackable. So I recommend Juggernoid Fear Ripper as the best combo, but if you get Saurus or Robotallion, you can still work with them. So those are the four kind of alternating Bakugans that you can use and are pretty strong as Narn Guardian Bakugan. If you want to get into PvP quickly, I do recommend bringing Darkus Laserman instead of one of these two. But if you're just trying to basically get HSP to buy your favorite Bakugan, then I would recommend either Juggernoid, Fear Ripper, Robotallion, or Saurus. And yeah, I hope you guys learned something from this quick tutorial and that you guys can progress really quickly as a new Darkus profile that you've created. Thank you to all my patrons for supporting my channel: MJC, Dylan, Darius, Arnaud, Nico YP, and Yasak. If anyone else would like to support my channel, my membership is up. I'll also be making membership exclusive videos where I go more in depth on Bakuproject PvP.